Hi class, today we're looking at Chapter 7, Lesson 5, Proving Triangles Similar. So, reason to learn this. Architects and engineers often make use of triangles when designing buildings and other structures. So 3 copies of the same triangle have been arranged as shown. So we are looking at these right here. Lines L and M, and that's a little big, there we go. Lines L and M are parallel because their alternate interior angles are congruent. So the angles labeled in blue, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, form a straight line along L, which means the sum of these 3 angles equals 180 degrees. Therefore, the sum of the measures of the angles of each triangle equal 180 degrees. Because if 1, 2, 3 equal 180, we have 1, 2, 3, that equals 180, that one equals 180, and this one equals 180. Therefore, the sum of the measures of the angle of a triangle is 180 degrees. That is what you need to memorize. So, if we look at this next angle right here, triangle, and we know that it's going to equal 180 degrees, we know that if we add all of these up, so 55 plus 55 plus x equals 180. We can add these two together. That's going to equal 110 plus x equals 180. Subtract the 110 from each side, and we get 70. Oh, that was a terrible 70. X equals 70. Therefore, this missing side, 70 degrees. This next one, the square right here, what does that mean that it equals? 90 degrees. 90 plus 24 plus, we don't know, equals 180. Add those two together, we get 114. And you don't have to do this. You could just add those together and then automatically subtract it from 180 if you know that that's just what you're supposed to do. 66. Therefore, this is going to be 66 degrees. Okay, so if all the pairs of corresponding angles of 2 triangles are congruent, right? These 2 triangles are congruent. Then the triangles have the same shape and the triangles are similar. In the diagram to the left, angle F is congruent to angle X, and angle G is congruent to angle Y. What about the third pair of corresponding angles? By using the angle sum of a triangle, you can determine that angle H is 68 degrees. And angle Z must also be 68 degrees. Because all 3 pairs of corresponding angles are congruent, then triangle TGH is congruent to triangle XYZ. This example shows that if 2 pairs of corresponding angles of 2 triangles are congruent, then the third pair of corresponding angles must be congruent also. So notice 61 degrees, 61 degrees, 51 degrees, 51 degrees, 68 degrees, 68 degrees. Even though they're not the same size sides, the angles are the same. So the key concept to take away, angle-angle similarities. If two angles of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding angles of another, then the triangles are similar. And notice how this is marked with two lines, two lines. That angle, that angle. That's telling you that this angle is congruent to this angle, and this angle is congruent to this angle. Show that these two triangles are similar. So we can see that this angle P and angle L are both 91 degrees. So if we assume that they are similar, then we want to believe that K and R are congruent and Q and M are congruent. But to double check, we should add up the sides. So if this is 91 plus 37 is going to equal 128. We take that and subtract it from 180. That's the measurements of a triangle, equals 52. And if you look, that equals 52, so we are correct. So we can show that these triangles are similar by saying angle P is congruent to angle L, angle K is congruent to angle R, angle Q is congruent to angle M, and therefore triangle QRP is congruent to triangle MKL by AA. That stands for angle, angle. We had two angles that are the same, so therefore they are congruent. Okay, take a look at these. See if you can show that each pair of triangles are similar. Come back to me when you're done. Okay, so for A, you should have had that angle M is congruent to angle S, both equal 30 degrees. Angle L is congruent to angle U, both equal 75 degrees. Angle T is congruent to angle N, both equal 75 degrees. So triangle LMN is congruent to triangle UST by AA similarities. Angle, angle similarities. And for B, you should have had angle B is congruent to angle C, both are 88 degrees. Angle A is congruent to angle E, both are 64 degrees. Angle BDA, so that's the looking at the whole BDA, is equal to angle CDAE, both equal 28 degrees. Therefore, triangle CDE is congruent to triangle BDA by AA similarities. So your homework today is page 234 and 235, number 1 through 17 odd. Happy homeworking!